Hello everybody, Floppy Hat Photos back here again for another one of my random rants. And today's random rant is about people getting all tough and getting all crazy on Facebook and social medias, Twitters, all that kind of thing, and not listening to what you actually say. They take one tiny bit and they just run with it and just absolutely crazy. Everybody nowadays just feels so deserving and everything's always about them and how it affects them and so on and so forth. A person made a post about they're looking at quitting their job. They've been there for 5 years, but they are fully tatted up and they have their ears gauged. They're very distinct looking, let's put it that way, in the process. And they asked for a legitimately honest question of, would this be a problem if you're in corporate fields or in other sales fields, other industries and stuff? And basically asked the question of, before I quit my job because the way I look, I want to know, am I going to be, basically have a hard time finding work? And it sounds like they're being passed over for raises after raises and bonuses after bonuses, and basically moving up the ladder at that company. Hence why they're wanting to leave. They've been overlooked for promotions they have not gotten. So they post the thing, and a lot of people are posting their fact, no, it shouldn't matter, and nobody cares anymore, blah blah. And the truth is, people do still matter. And I posted there a handful of years back. I used to own a retail pet store, and I would not have hired a person who was fully headed up with big ear gauges, that kind of thing, over an equivalent employee that was also applying for the job. And they skipped the whole part about equivalent. My thing is, if you're more qualified than the person next to you, I'm going to give it to the more qualified person. I don't care what you look like. And I basically just ran down. I said also the fact that the business I am now, which is vending, I have a vending business. If I was going to hire somebody to go in and fill my machines for me and stuff, I work in retirement villages, rehab centers, auto repair shops. I have all kinds of different locations that I have these set up in. And if you look like you do with full gauges and full tats, you're gonna have to be above and beyond sweet to overcome that look. Especially have an 80-90-year-old woman in there at this nursing home who's expecting to not see this, and she's still living the old world lifestyle of tattoo guys are only bikers and criminals. Like, she's not gonna overcome that. And my thing is, if you're gonna work for me, you gotta be overly sweet anyway, because I'm dealing with a bunch of very old women, very old men in these places, that if you cannot handle yourself and become overly sweet, I don't want you working for me. If you look like Mother Teresa, if you can't be nice to people, I don't want you working there anyway. So I posted that original post, and somebody came back in, saying how I was a bigot and how I was an asshole, and I was a racist, and all kind of like, what the hell? This has anything to do with it? I'm like, that's ridiculous. And I basically posted back in going, you missed the primary part about equivalent. And then that person who originally made the post came back in going, if I came into your shop and you chose not to hire me because of my look, and you hired the big titty bimbo over me, I would make it my goal to make sure nobody ever shopped at your retail pet store again. And I'm like, first off, well, that's a shitty thing to say, because I chose somebody else. Again, you missed the part of equivalent. If the big titty bimbo, again, now you're being discriminating against the big titty bimbo, which is ridiculous. But if she was equally qualified as you, no problem. He goes, I would outwork anybody you've ever had working for you. My work ethic is great, blah, blah, which is fine. And I'd posted back in there saying, hey, if this is the case, if you were a better employee, I would have happily hired you. And I talked about the fact that I had multiple customers of mine that were goth, very tattooed up. I had very great friends. And if somebody shamed them, I went out above and beyond my way to shame the person who's making fun of anybody who lived outside the normal box of looks. I always went way out of my way, including telling customers of mine, we don't talk about my other customers that way, because that's not how shit works here. Then I was told basically I cared more about profit than I cared about morality, which is ridiculous, because my answer is, so you're telling me that I should choose to hire somebody who chose to make choices with their body, tattoos, gauges, whatever, that would then turn my customers away, so they would not spend money in my business, which means I'd have to close my doors and lose my business over choices an employee made on their body. And I was told, yes, that if my customers don't trust me to hire the proper employees to take their money, then they're not good customers anyway, which just seemed ridiculous. And I was like, okay, I'm being told I'm an asshole and anything else. I said, I had an employee of mine who was a lady who was going through gender reassignment. Basically, I had an employee of mine who wanted to go as a man, lived her life as a man. I called her Sean. Her name was Shelly. I called her Sean. Only knew her as Sean. I knew she was a female, living as a man. I only referred to her as a him the whole time we were ever employed. The only time I had an issue with it, a couple times we had previous friends of hers from back in the past who would come in and ask for Shelly. And I was like, who the hell? And it had to take me a minute to dawn. I'm like, oh yeah, hold on a minute. That's over here. And I go back. I would go find Sean/Shelly in the back room or wherever Shelly was and say, hey, so when they're out there asking for Shelly, and then a lot of times it was people she didn't like, that he didn't want to deal with. And I'd say, oh, they're not working today, they're not here, blah, blah, whatever. They would move on. So that was the biggest thing I had. I had no problem at all with the whole thing, not one bit, not nothing. Then I get told that I'm an asshole because I'm basically, pulling out the card, the one protected race. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not protected. Tattoos and gauges are not a protected, employee species. I have the right to make the choices I feel best for my company. And I have many, I don't know, it's just like, I'm so not. And my whole thing is, I'm like, the hell, I just deleted my comments and just moved away from the whole thing and got cold. Everything from a money hungry whore to a bigot and everything else stuff, that I was some kind of racist asshole and making fun of me for, my comments and stuff. I'm like, you don't even know me. You don't know shit about me. You don't know nothing. So it is what it is. I just think it's great when you people pick the tiniest little thing. You missed the part of equivalent employee. Big part of that sentence was equivalent employee. Just like I've always said, never had children, but if I had children and I had the choice that if I was going to pass away and I give them to a heterosexual family or a gay family, everything being equal, I give it to the heterosexual family. It's not that hard to figure out. Now, if the gay family makes an extra $50,000 a year or has one of them stay at home as a parent to raise the child, I give it to the gay family. Wouldn't care a bit. All about equal. If everything is equal, everything's the same, I'm going to go with the heterosexual family just because it's one less thing to go. If there's any benefit to the gay family, give it to the gay family. Don't care a bit. No different than if my child, if I could give it to a family who was fully tattooed up and gauged up, or a family who looked like they could have been right out of the damn Norman Rockwell painting, I give it to the Norman Rockwell family. Again, assuming that everything was equal. But nobody's ever equal. My whole thing is the fact you asked a legitimate question, you want a legitimate answer. Instead, you're mad because somebody told you a legitimate answer. I'm told I was a prejudice and I was all this stuff, like I'm some kind of asshole. And I'm like, you don't even know me. You have no idea what I went through. You don't know my backstory. You don't know nothing about me. So you just pick one little story, and that's what happens. Especially, it wouldn't have went that way if we'd have been at a meeting somewhere, if we'd been out at the park, been talking, would have been on the phone call. Nobody would have had the courage to say this shit to my face. It would have had the whole thing, but it is what it is. So just be careful, guys. There's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there that lose their mind and get all high and mighty, and you want to twist your words and everything you say. So be careful what you say, and sometimes better off just to let the crazy people who always want to play the victim role, just let them be a victim over there on their own. Just delete the comments and move on with your life. So that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to fill my life with just positive, people. I try and express myself, and if they can't handle it, just move on. So you guys take care. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.